Law enforcement has been tracking misinformation on social media that they worry could incite fear or spark violence. Experts told us it's up to people to stay proactive in identifying false information. It's a classic case of don't believe everything you read, especially when it comes to the internet. Law enforcement has been keeping track of misinformation online. They say people who share the misinformation also share a false sense of panic to their networks. The police chief in D.C. says it happened there. He addressed false claims that all of D.C. lost power, internet, and cell service during protests.
And that's why I rarely take a lot of the information that I get from social media on its face.
Cybersecurity expert Donald McLaughlin says this is a recurring problem that is likely here to stay.
That is a battle that the entire country has been battling for the past, decade of misinformation since the internet really took off.
He suggests everyone carefully review the information source they're looking at and ask things like, what else have they posted, and are those posts credible? You can also turn to Google or whatever search engine you use.
So researching the truth and finding out the truth is hard. It's very hard because there's so much misinformation, but you can use what's called a negative keyword and you put a minus sign in front of it.
That will get you more relevant results and information. Another thing McLaughlin says to keep in mind, especially in times of unrest, is that someone is always trying to get your attention.
Typically, there's an agenda, and unfortunately, groups and individuals are using social media for their agenda. And technology is getting to a point now where you can have a bot and crawl Facebook and figure out exactly what you need to say to capture a certain audience.
He says to remember, your every click is being watched and every kind of advertiser is paying for information about your interests. You can easily turn off some of that by going into your privacy settings and changing the ad settings, and always do your research before you believe what you read. Thank you for joining us for our conversation this week about misinformation. Join us next week when we take a look at religion and the role it plays in our society. Until then, in New York City, I'm Chris Stewart, and this is The Race.